It's farty poopoo time. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, you ready to freaking do this? I got so much good stuff to talk about, and you know it's good when half of the notes involve the word shit in them. Hey, where do you think you are? Where do you come for the best content? This guy. All right, man. Well, let's start off with something simple. And this comes from a request. A good friend of mine, Miguel, he left a comment. Hey, dude, will you talk about beer? In Shitty Liquids, what do you think's a shitty beer? And I will. So on today's episode of Shitty Liquids, we're going to talk about malt liquor. That's the new Shitty Liquids intro. It's always changing, but here we go. Malt liquor. You know, the only reason why it was made is so that people who are addicted to alcohol have a cheaper option. That's it. It's the worst beverage that could be even close to beer. Okay? It honestly, it tastes like if you put a piece of bread in medicine for like a month, there you go, malt liquor. You know what I'm saying, guys? And like, okay, when I was a kid, when I was like 17, and I didn't have much money on hand at any point in time, and like, let's say there was someone that was gonna go buy booze for everybody, like, okay, I don't have enough for like, whatever. So, okay, can you go get me, here's $10. Can you go get me a couple Old English? And they're like, okay. And then you get it, and there you go. You're wasted for the night. Two Old English will put you away. But it's a purely desperation beverage. And it can suck my balls. Because, like, oh, what did I think? It was all image. Like, I'm the guy at the party with a 40. Look at me, everybody. Aren't I quirky? I'm drinking what rappers drink. Doesn't that make me inherently cool? Dude, I was so inherently cool in high school. Dude, I would just be like smoking blunts and drinking 40s in class, and the teacher would be like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, just not giving a frick. Yeah, malt liquor. Shitty liquid. Good question, Miguel. Hey, and if you got any requests for the podcast, just let me know what you're thinking. Because I'm always down to answer any questions to, hey, Alex, what do you think about soft drinks? And I'd be like, I don't know. Not all of them are shitty liquids. This kind of content, this golden content and more can happen if you leave a comment right now. So if you have any questions for a future episode, feel free to ask. All right, guys. I'm having a really good day, actually. It's been a little better since last week. Last week I was pretty sad, wasn't I? I was down in the dumper. Man, what's wrong with me sometimes, Like, Mr. Oh, I don't know about myself. Where am I in life? Freaking calm down, But hey, it's been pretty good, and I'm looking to keep it that way, my sweet darlings. Let's keep it moving ahead here. Let's see, which shit topic can I go on next? Oh, sometimes I like to lie to people just because it's fun. It's not because I'm trying to deceive. I just want to make the conversation more interesting for myself. And that might be a bad character trait on my part. That might be a glaring problem that I'm just realizing now. But it's fun. So what lie did you tell Alex? What? Oh man, I sound like Microsoft Sam. What lie did you tell Alex? Where I am Microsoft Sam. I love Pokemon. Alex loves Pokemon. Dude, did you ever use Microsoft Sam? It was like the first text to speech thing, and it couldn't pronounce anything. Hello, my name is Microsoft Sam. It couldn't even say his own name right. My name is Microsoft Sam. And it was demonic. And the first thing I remember making it say was, Alex loves Pokemon. Didn't get any of that right. Hey, don't you recognize the name Alex? It's not a new name. It's not like, I don't know, Aiden or something. Oh, by the way, why is Aiden such a common name? It's got the root word aid in it. You know, as in AIDS. You want everyone in school calling your kid Aidsen? Because if there was a kid, I never met any Aidens when I was in school. There's none. If I was going to school with an Aiden right now, I'd be calling that guy Aidsen. And his sister, HIVla. That's stupid. Okay. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. My lie. Let's go back to the lie, okay? It's just for... Okay, the lie was this. I was talking with someone. Yeah, I worked at DHX in Vancouver. And they're like, oh, really? What was Marina doing? I'm like, oh, she was working there too. He's like, really? What show was she on? Oh, she actually wasn't on a show. She worked in the back. I'm like, what do you mean in the back? Well, we had a big shit pile out there, and she would just shovel the shit all day. And it wasn't even necessary for her to have that job. Like, the shit would just come out the side of the building, and then there would be a pit 3 feet away from where it falls. So they could have just directed the chute with a couple more meters of metal and had the shit fall into the pit. But they just decided to hire someone to shovel it all day. And that's what Marina did. And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah. And her role was called the shit bitch. And we would just like, she would be shoveling all day, and we'd be walking up to her, be like, hey, shit bitch, you dumb piece of shit. And then we would throw rocks at her face, and she'd be like, oh, you kids. Hey, these are the things you gotta do sometimes to have a little bit of fun in your life. Guys. Dude, I've been trying to get myself to watch some classic movies, I watched the movie Vertigo. That movie sucks. How could you insult these classic films? Well, easily, if they're bad, which this one is. Vertigo, so boring, for one thing. And for another thing, the main dude, Mr. Frickin' Wishy-Washy Mom, Mr. like, what was the girl's name? Let's just say it's Donna. I throughout the entire movie, I could barely keep so much attention. I don't even remember their names. Oh, my name is John Dangus, and your name is Anna. Like, he sounded like he was trying too hard to do his own voice. He's like, right. This guy sounded like he had problems. And like for 30 minutes of the movie, it's just him following her in a car like a stalker. He's a PI or something. Yeah, he's a PI. And he's stalking this lady, and he's like, oh, I must meet her. So anyway, he's stalking this chick, and then when he finally meets her, falls in love instantly, which doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. And he keeps grabbing her throughout the movie, so forcefully. Was this romance back in the day? Being grasped hard? And he's like, no, I love you. And she's like, you know? And it's kind of uncomfortable to watch because she very clearly does not want to be grabbed forcefully. And it's like, but I love you, darling. And okay. And the fact that this entire movie is titled around like this 5-minute bit they did on him like being scared of heights. They barely touch on it the entire movie. There's no development in the whole vertigo part of it. Oh, sorry that I'm talking so much about the inner details. Spoiler alert, the movie's 1,000 years old. Okay? If you haven't watched it, whatever. It's not good. Don't watch it. Okay. So they barely touch on this whole like him having vertigo thing. He's just like, "Oh, I'm scared of heights." And then he fails that mission in the beginning. And then I don't know, man. All in all, just way too many like grabbing her by the shoulders scenes. Way too many like, oh, we're so passionate about each other scenes. Okay? And just not worth the twist in the end. Okay? It's dated. And it should be. Now, is the new Aladdin better? Yes. With Will Smith as Genie? Yes. Have I seen it yet? No, but I know it's better? Yes. And I don't care how bold of a statement that is. Fuck Vertigo. Oh, darling. I stalk you for 30 minutes and then grab you a lot and stalk you again 3 years later after you fake your own death. Just a movie about a weird guy that you think is old. He sounds really old and he looks kind of old, but he's like supposed to be like 30. And he's got like the crinkliest face. Like, I don't believe anything going on in this movie. There's no chemistry between him and the main character. Stupid. Hey, at least Will Smith's Genie is sexy. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I shit myself once upon a time. I mentioned this in my last podcast when I was getting really sad. Aw, Alex, you okay, baby? You okay? I'll play a little song, Alex. You poor baby. I feel so bad for you. But yeah, one time I pooped myself, and it was intense. Like I was working this job where I couldn't. This was before animating in BC. I had this job where I was in a truck all day, so I wouldn't be able to stop and relieve myself regularly. So I basically saved it up for the end of the day. Okay. And today was a particularly difficult to hold back day. Okay, so as I was driving home, and I was like, ooh, it just kind of like dropped into my stomach, and I was like, ooh, I gotta dump a load. And then immediately my stomach went like, and I was like, uh-oh. And then it instantly went from like, ooh, I got a banky, into like, this is an emergency. This is a serious problem. And so I started squealing my tires and like making these drastic turns. If I hit someone, I would have like shit on impact. And I was basically asking for a cop to stop me. And I wouldn't care if he did, because as soon as he pulls up to my window, I would be like, already shitting myself. I have my window rolled down, and I'd be looking him straight in the eye, and I'd be like, and I'd be like, you see what you did? You see what you did here? This is your fault. And then I shit on him. I shit on the police officer, and he dies. And then I'm a cop killer. I'm revered in prison. They say, oh, you got one of the boys in blue, huh? Come here and join this non-racist gang. And I'd be like, don't mind if I do. And they're like, how about you lead us? And we'll call you Pig Shitter. That's my nickname in jail. And I'm I'm a renowned cop killer named Pig Shitter, and everything I say goes. And I say, let's kill everyone in the jail. And they're like, sir? And I'm like, did I freaking stutter? And they're like, yes, Mr. Pig Shitter, sir. And so then I have everyone in the prison killed. All because it's all this cop's fault because he stopped me and I shit myself. Okay, anyway. So I had to go really bad. I barreled down the highway to get to the closest bathroom I could find, which in this case was Tim Hortons. Okay, and I could see Tim Hortons, and you know when you're getting somewhere where you know you can relieve yourself there, your body jumps the gun and starts going like, "Hey, well we're basically there, so let's get this going," you know. So I was holding that back the entire time. And just as I get close, there's a stoplight. I have to hit the brakes really hard, and I'm just staring at the light like, come on, change! I can't fucking believe this! I need to shit so bad! I'm screaming all of this, top of my lungs, at the windshield, just begging the light to change. And as soon as it changes, I skirt my tires, and I basically drift into the Tim Hortons, and I open the door, I close the door, and I'm marching with my spine totally erect, and just as I take my third step, I feel a little slippage. Uh-oh. I just shit myself. And I thought, well, it's going to be a good 30 seconds before that runs down my leg and starts to smell. So I might as well charge in there and get into that bathroom as soon as possible to try and do some damage control. Okay? So I charge into Tim Hortons. And it just so happens it's the busiest night of the year. There is people lined up around the Tim Hortons. It was like 7 o'clock at night, and everyone decided to have, hey, family meal at Tim Hortons on me. Let's go have a round of donuts. What do you say, me and my 12 friends and family? Let's do it. And so, yeah, the Tim Hortons was popping. And so I bust in there, and I thought that they were going to have one of those like junkie bathrooms where you can't go in there unless they buzz you in because they don't want people passed out with needles in their arm. Like you need to get buzzed in. I thought that's what they had. So I cut in line like crazy. I charged to the front of the counter, and nobody's facing me, okay, because they're working at Tim Hortons, and they want to just get it over with and not be proactive. And I understand it, but I had to insist. So I basically shouted at the back of this poor girl's head. I said, "Excuse me!" And she's like, "What?" Like, okay, who's this friggin' dildo talking to me? And I'm like, "Excuse me, can I please use your bathroom? Can you please buzz me in?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can use the bathroom. What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, so I don't need to get buzzed in?" She's like, "No, you can just go in." Okay, thanks. And my lack of volume control, normally, under normal circumstances, I would be embarrassed by myself doing that. Oh, I just shouted in the middle of this Tim Hortons in front of everyone's families. But since I had some smears falling out of my bum, I didn't care. And so I just turned around and I just waltzed my way onto the bathroom and let loose. I just let it happen, and it was the most relieved, I can't even talk, man. It was the most relief I've felt that entire year. Okay? Oh, and the situation in my pants. Guess what? by the grace of God, by the grace of God, I had no shit in my underwear or my pants. And you know why? Because I have a deep ass. That's right. And I can close that shit tight. Like, there's a good 5 inches of buttocks I got before it even reaches the underwear. And when that thing pinches shut, dude, nothing's coming out of there. That's why they used to call me old Ziploc in high school. Because everyone would be like, "Hey Alex, you hold this for me?" And I'm like, "Hey, I got you." And I'd stick it in my ass. And they're like, "Hey Alex, could you keep my goldfish crackers fresh for a prolonged amount of time?" I'm like, "Sure, just pop it in my ass." And they're like, "Thanks, dude." Yeah, and everyone would be eating snacks, and it'd be a heck of a time. Yeah, those were the good old days, high school, eh? Some people didn't like it, but old Ziploc did. It was a good time. Okay, guys. Well, that was fun. I hope that you join me on the next episode of Farty Poopoo Time. Hey, and if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed to me yet, why don't you do it? Hit that old subscribe button. Give this video a like. And if you have any questions for me or anything you want me to rattle on about, just in case you're tired of hearing me talk about shit all day, just comment what you want me to talk about in the comments. Where else? In the comments. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for listening / watching. Hey, guys. Thank you for participating, really, in the podcast this week. Really appreciate it. So, yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. Love ya.